Welcome to another episode of Low Gear.
Ross, fantastic looking restorations, unless they come out like this when you got them.
They were like this when we got them, but
okay. They've been restored.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at the B series mudguard here.
Yes.
But it's not the right cab. You were saying that's the L series cab.
It would have came out that way.
That's how they built it.
Yeah. They build them. I've seen that B73 model with the B cab and the L cab.
Okay, so it's got the same front but different cab. I think there's one down there, a dead one.
Yes.
Up in the top there. Yeah.
Yes. That's got the B cab. Yeah.
And I don't know why B cabs didn't come to New Zealand either. You know, that's another mystery.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, maybe they were too expensive as opposed to the International.
Maybe. Yeah.
And this is the Pacific that we looks like the one we got down at our place, but just looking at the bonnet, this bit out the side here is a bit different, but the sort of little hook on the top of the radiator, that's the same, and they cut out Pacific out of the steel front there, that's the same.
Yes, the P9 stood for a 9-inch frame, and if it was a P10 it was a 10-inch frame. P12 was 12-inch frame,
and so on.
P16 was 16
so on
inch.
and so on. And the turning circle isn't all that wonderful.
Well, I found that the Pacific that we had didn't turn as good as a Hayes of the same age.
So the two trucks turn up and the Hayes does this, and the Pacific's got to have two goes at it.
Yeah.
Ross, behind me is an International R190 that New Zealand had plenty of, and they made the logging industry and other industries as well, house moving and all sorts of things like that. So just to finish, I'd like to thank you very, very much for your time today.
You're welcome.
Fantastic collection of history, and good luck to you for, good on you for keeping all that alive so people like us and others can come and enjoy it.
Good.
And those Hayes trucks, well, they're just the monster of the logging industry, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And the Macs I hadn't seen before. They never came to New Zealand until about 1970s or just earlier than that, so we never got to see them. So it's great to be able to see what the whole history of Mac was like, the different trucks, the size of the trucks. Absolutely amazing. So once again, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Good on you, Ross.
Good on you, Ross, indeed. Now we're going back to Doug Callahan's place to take a look at some more of the amazing machines and vehicles that he has in his collection.
Doug, the shovel, I mean, they had steam shovels, I think, to start off with.
Yeah.
And then they've progressed to the diesel engines or petrol engines.
Mm-hmm.
And this basic design, they've got the arm with the dipper, and this big ugly thing on the front that picks the material up and swings it about, and the bottom falls out of it and onto the truck it goes.
It dumps,
But when I was a kid, it terrified me.
Really?
I just thought that was that's just the most intimidating piece of machinery around. But in Dunedin, they've got one of these that was a steam. There were two guys to operate it, one shoveling the coal and keeping the fire going, and the guy sort of sitting in the front, which is open, just levers and
lever man. Yeah.
But it's a monster. Well, it seems to be narrow, but it's very, very high.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So these have been around. This is 1930s, you were saying?
Yeah, 32.
But the system's been around forever.
Oh, yeah, for years. Yeah.
Maybe you could just tell me about this particular one.
Well, this one, Bucyrus-Erie, which big manufacturer in their day, this was a transition machine between steam and petrol or diesel. So they were steam builders, and they still had that idea in their head. So they used, you'll see the crowd engine up there to run your stick in and out, is basically a steam engine, but it runs on air. And the swing engine was the same way. So that they run their main hoist on a friction, which all the later ones did. So there's a huge air compressor at the back underneath the engine. And it was, they only built them for a couple years, and then the same thing, they figured, oh, this is too complicated, we'll go to straight frictions and brakes and clutches. So there's only a couple of these left in the world that we know of.
Wow.
And it runs good, but it's just, it's complicated. There's just more stuff than you need, really.
Sure. When they're you know, at the time when they built the cab for these things, there was no imagination at all. It's just an absolute square box, and
Yeah.
maybe you know, if you were real lucky, you had a bit of a glass in there for the keep a bit of the cold and the rain out, I guess. But
That's all they were for at that day. They weren't thinking style, it was just function in them days.
Sure.
So.
and then in Stockton they had a Marion and they had an Aries, just Aries,
Yeah.
without the Bucyrus. But that was a monster of a thing.
Oh yeah.
You know, sort of like 4 loads into a dump truck.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was
Oh,
just
yeah.
a-
They built big, huge ones
Yeah.
in their day. Yeah. This was contractor size. That's only 1.25 yard bucket. This one.
Yeah.
But oh, they had 5, 8 yard ones. You name it.
And we've also seen in our, well, not in our travels, it's on my bucket list to go and see one, it is the drag line, which is sort of, you know, they've got this, like the controls, about as big as this machine, but the rest of it's like a, you know, like a 5-story building all the way
yeah.
around it, and a bucket the size of, you know,
Yeah, the big 80
Massive.
yard. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
massive. Have you seen one of those?
I've seen them, but not really up close. You just from outside the road. Yeah, they're huge. Yeah. Yeah.
But and it might even been the same company that built those.
Well, Marion and Bucyrus and P&H were the 3 big builders, really. They did most of them. So.
Wow, yeah. So, this has got 3 engines in it.
It's, no, well, it's got your one main engine, the diesel. This was originally a gas engine or petrol, and then it was switched out at some point in its previous life to a Cat D8 engine. And then it runs the air compressor, and the air compressor runs the little,
motor up
crowd
the top
motor
there.
up the top, and it runs a swing motor. So, like I say, fairly complicated.
Wow. I need to climb up into that cab if I can.
Sure.
I was just thinking, you know, when you're on a modern machine, a guy probably wouldn't operate it unless it had a you know, sort of sprung seat, air conditioning radio.
Oh, yeah.
And then you sort of get back to this where you got a steel seat.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, maybe a bit of spring in it, but
Yeah, not
spend,
much.
spend your day pulling those levers. But an
It was a
interesting.
long day. Oh,
Let's
yeah.
see if I can get up here
Sure.
without breaking something. How hard's that? And that's to keep the seat dry.
That's right.
Just tip it over like that, and in the morning,
Flip her over, yeah.
Yep.
Away you go.
and we're ready to pull levers all day. So I just like the little heel bit there, but my foot's sort of these are the bit for dead.
Yeah.
This one's here, so I've got the front of my foot on this one, the heel of my foot on that one. 2 levers, 3 levers, and a brake. But your feet are going,
Oh, yeah.
your hands are going,
Yeah.
and your eyes and ears are going. So you're listening to that engine, you're watching this bit out the front there, and everything's just, you know, I don't know how long it would actually take to learn to operate one of these things. You probably start off.
Years to get good, but usually you started out with these ones as an oiler, and your job was to keep everything oiled and greased and help
And
the
then
guy.
we had a bit of spare time, you'd have a go at it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Then the boss say, right, you can have a go.
Yeah.
You're on it for a day, see if you're any good.
Yeah.
But, well, so even with the, you know, doing the bucket, chucking the bucket, that's all class. But somebody said if you can operate one of these, you can fly a helicopter. Your
Okay.
feet are going, your hands are going, everything, just like a
Right.
helicopter does. Your feet, hands, coordination, the whole 9 yards. So it's a bit like, you know, sort of trying to control a ball bearing on ice.
Yeah. Well, I've never run a helicopter, but yeah, it keeps you busy running these
Yeah,
things.
yeah, exactly. So, no giving the seat at all.
No.
So you know you'd had a day's work at the time you finished sort of doing it, and that all that
All that
going on
noise
in the background.
back there, oh yeah.
Yeah. And then there's the dust and the
Dirt and you name it.
real men work these things, folks. Real men.
That's right.
Low Gear's sponsor is ProTrans Earth Moving. They are a Christchurch-based company and specialise in earth moving and demolition. They also specialise in remote control diggers for those jobs that have an element of danger. And they have a variety of special purpose trucks that can get into those hard to get to places. So if you have an earth moving or demolition job, check out ProTrans at www.protrans.com.
Doug, I've never seen anything like this before, and we've seen a lot of things. And It looks like a steam roller, just at a glance, with the you know, flat wheels on the front, but I don't think it is.
No.
So maybe, maybe you can just describe this for us.
Okay, it's called a keystone skimmer. So they were designed to skim off up to a foot thick of dirt, and you'd keep working yourself ahead. If you're working down a road and you wanted to just take off a little bit, you'd load a horse-drawn wagon and he'd take that away, and then you'd gravel your road. So that fairly limited use what they can do, but they were good at it compared to men with shovels.
Sure. Doug, 1920s, early 20s, late teens, and this is a
Hydraulic outrigger.
hydraulic
Yeah.
in 1920.
Yeah, you think that didn't come out till the 50s and 60s, but this machine had it. They were moving so fast, you'd dig 3 or 4 buckets and then you had to move ahead, so you'd have to reset your outrigger so it wouldn't fall over.
Sure.
So they were smart, they had it figured out in them days.
Yeah, I'll say. Well, I just wonder why it didn't catch on back then. Surely somebody must have
Sooner,
thought.
yeah, you would wonder about
Now,
it.
if we did that, it's holding this up, maybe we put it on our machine and it does this and it does that.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Somebody's had a great idea, but it's, you know, it's just before its time.
It took a while, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right, to catch
Amazing.
on.
There you go. Nothing new in technology, folks, and as I've always been saying right through this whole program, there's nothing new in mechanicals today, hardly anyway.
So you run it from here, or then you stood up on the side and you drove it from up there with the steering wheel.
So there's levers everywhere that you've got to
Yeah.
be aware of and know what they do.
Well,
There's levers underneath,
oh yeah,
gears everywhere,
yeah.
foot,
That's for your swing. That swung
okay.
your boom back and forth.
sure, and the boom sticking out the front here, folks. So come and have a look at the boom, folks. So Doug, we've got a wire rope, and lots of wire rope,
Right? Yeah.
and that goes around the pulley at the end to this thing. So this, when it begins its job, is back there.
Yeah,
And so he pulls one of those levers and it starts winding this rope back that way, which drags this along the front, and it's filling this up with dirt.
That's right.
Looks very much like a dragline bucket, but
Yeah.
maybe it's an early idea from that. Yeah. And you pull the string,
And that trips
operate
the bucket.
that trips the bucket, down it
Down she
goes onto the wagon with the horse.
Yeah.
So this must have been, you know, when this comes to town to do the roadworks, this must have been a hell of a, wow, what the hell is that? You know?
Oh yeah. Would have been.
Taking people by surprise.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was. There again, it was a state-of-the-art machine in its day. Like you look at it now, you think that's pretty crude, but in its day, that was quite a rig.
Yeah, amazing. Well, there you go, folks. More history of the human race, I suppose. Get things done, beat the hell out of it, doing it with a shovel and a bucket. Amazing. Doug, this is a steam car, and in New Zealand we have a couple of Stanley steamers that came, but I think that's all.
Right.
And steam cars, you know, in the 1900s, they were popular. Probably easy to build for whatever reason, because that technology is available.
Steam rated, yeah.
Yep. And there was a point where was it going to be steam or was it going to be petrol?
Right.
And I guess when the starter started, you just go crank and away it goes. The petrol won.
Yeah, that's right.
And it'll probably take about half an hour to get this all ready to go and
At least.
up,
Yeah.
up going and what have
good
you.
at
So,
it, yeah.
so the Stanley steamers had a boiler in the front, and around it was a million miles of piano wire
Piano
to
wire.
sort of hold the whole thing together.
Yeah.
And then you come back to the dashboard, which wasn't, it was just gauges and pressure valves and all the rest of it. And looking at that dashboard, that just leaves all the dashboards I've ever seen for dead for this time.
Yeah.
So what year is this?
This is 1925. It was a Brooks, which was a Canadian-built car, but a lot of it's, I don't know if you'd say copy, but very similar to a Stanley. So by 25, it was too late. They were trying it. They didn't last long. They went broke. It was the Model T had,
Yeah, left them
you
for
know,
dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were done. So this is one of 5 Brooks complete cars left in existence. This is the only totally original one that hasn't been gone through. So outside of painting the fenders, the body work, it's all original.
Wow. Even the seats.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are they leather?
No, they're fabric.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Suicide doors. Can I
Right,
open this?
yeah, go
Just
ahead.
Turn?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
These are all wood frame doors.
Yeah.
That's original upholstery on them.
And it has the smell. If you can smell this, folks, it just smells like
Old.
1925. Yeah. Can we take a look at the engine and maybe see the similarities between
Whoops.
that and a Stanley?
Okay, so here is the boiler.
Wow. So
Car.
so you've got valves and little
There's valves and doodads all over when you've got a
pipes
steam
go
car.
everywhere, and you
Yeah.
wonder what the hell. But the piano wire, is that on the inside of this frame?
Yeah, this is just your insulation cover
Oh, okay. Right.
for your boiler.
Yep. And does it heat with petrol or gas or kerosene or?
Kerosene.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's a heater under the bottom of this.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
Wow. They even managed to get the horn in there, I see.
Yeah.
Can we have a look at the other side?
Sure. Yeah.
Not so many gizmos on this side, but you've got a fire extinguisher there. I guess that's important.
Yeah. Around these, they'll give you a fire and scare you now and then.
You've had it going, obviously.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When it's firing up, it's hissing and
Oh
ever
yeah.
so
And
quietly,
humming and yeah.
making noises. You won't want that noise.
Yeah.
But when you're ready to drive it and you've
Mm-hmm.
shut everything down, all you hear is just the crunch of the tires on the stones.
That's right. They're silent. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. A friend just bought a Tesla electric car, and it's exactly the same. It just
the
goes,
electric, yeah.
just moves away, no noise at all.
Yeah.
Amazing. Now, thanks for that. So was it that Brooks was the man's name who
Yeah,
started
that's
the
right.
company?
Yeah.
And he's got an interesting little logo there. She's sobbing into, oh,
Yeah.
I did only lasted 5 years. That's about the little wings arrangements. I guess that's so you can undo the.
Yeah.
And they look like they actually sort of pop up.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that's where you fill your water. This is a condenser, it's not a radiator, so you reuse your water. out of
Yeah,
your
the same as
engine.
the Stanley. It just goes round and around and around
Recirculate.
some more. Yeah, yeah. But the Stanley was using something like a gallon for about 10 miles. A gallon of petrol to sort of keep that burner going. So
Right.
it wasn't exactly compared to a petrol-driven engine.
Mm-hmm.
This was probably more expensive than petrol.
Yeah, they weren't really efficient.
No. But I like the idea of the water just going round and round and recirculating.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
so if they could do that without another more productive way of heating it, or economic way of heating it,
Yeah.
it would be a great car to have.
Yeah.
Can we have a look at the dashboard? You've got to see this dashboard, folks.
Sure.
Well, there's a valve gauge down here. There's something on the floor, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 gauges on the dashboard, all of which have to be taken notice of, I'm sure.
That's right. Oh yeah.
Different pressures for this, that, and the other. And there was something about on the floor that you had to do to make it go on the Stanley.
You'd hand pump up your
that's what it
pilot
was.
pressure tanks.
Yes.
So, yeah, they're not a relaxing drive because you're watching everything. Never mind traffic. You don't want to take these out if there's traffic everywhere. They're fun on a back road and no traffic
Sure.
and play around. But yeah, there's lots to pay attention with them.
And this on this
This is your throttle.
oh, okay.
And it's got the lock on it. So if you're steamed up and parked somewhere, like at a show, and somebody was to reach in and say, "What's that?" and hit it, away the car would go. So you make sure you lock your throttle off if you get out of the car. Because people don't realize this thing is silent. It could have 500-pound steam pressure on it, and they won't hear a thing, and they'll think, "Oh, what's this?" And
So the two pedals, are they related to clutch and brake?
no, this one's your brake. This one's for reverse and what's called hook up on a steam engine. It shortens the stroke of your, so it's basically like giving you an extra gear.
Wow. And the Stanley, the engine's actually
It's underneath,
Underneath at the
and
back
it
there.
attaches to the back axle, same way as this.
same as this one. So all
Yeah.
this all
Yeah.
heading towards the back.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely nothing like a conventional petrol engine at all.
No.
And I just noticed there's a blanket here and a blanket in the back. And in the, when we drove around when I was a kid, in those 40s cars, everybody had a blanket
That's just
over the seat.
to protect the original upholstery. Because
Oh,
we're
okay. I
trying
thought
to
it was
keep
sort
it
of
all
that
original.
you can have a picnic when you arrive somewhere
Well, I
back
guess
in the
you
day.
could too, but it's, you don't want to have to redo the upholstery if we can keep the original as long as we can.
Sure.
We're trying to do that. So.
No, you even got a rear vision mirror, even though you haven't got time to look in it.
Yeah.
And electric or mechanical?
That's actually electric. There was a little generator would drive off your back axle, and you could have power
Wow.
for lights and.
Well, this is certainly a bit of steam history. I mean, it's just amazing. Low Gear's sponsor is ProTrains Earth Moving. They're a Christchurch-based company and specialise in earth moving and demolition. They also specialise in remote control diggers for those jobs that have an element of danger. And they have a variety of special purpose trucks that can get into those hard to get to places. So if you have an earth moving or demolition job, check out ProTrans at www.protrans.com. Well, welcome back, and we've come into one of Doug's sheds, and this is a white.
It's a white.
And down in the Thornbury Vintage Machinery Club, they've got a white that we went and had a look at, nothing the size of this, small one, and it was about 1918, give about, and this is 23.
25.
1925.
Right.
With a C cab and and just looking at this, when you look at a similar age Leyland, everything's here. There's no way you're going to get in that side because there's all the mechanics there. In fact, some of them have just got it closed off. You can't get in there at all. You have to get into the other side and come across to drive the thing.
Yeah, this is the same. It's easier to get in the other side.
So this is just the brake, the lever for the
dump. Yeah.
And
Gear
a
shift.
stick. Is that a gate? It's got a little lever on that.
That's for reverse lockout.
Yeah.
So you pull that up to get it in reverse.
And one dial,
Yeah.
just in case.
Yeah. Didn't need a speedometer because you weren't going fast enough.
No. And the accelerator's on the right-hand side, and that's another, like all the Leylands, all the British things, most of them had the accelerator between the brake and the clutch.
Oh, really?
And the Mac that we saw yesterday, that's got the accelerator on the right-hand side. And so was this. So somewhere along the line, somebody's decided in this era that it might be easier to have the accelerator between them.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that.
No, but anyway, there's a lot of vehicles that the accelerators between them. In fact, some of them don't have an accelerator at all. The accelerator's on a
hand throttle.
Yeah, hand throttle, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is a dumper, and
It
so
is.
the dumper's not much wider than that cab,
No.
and you can run along with your shovel and spread it out. Has it got a tip?
It's got a hydraulic hoist in it. Yeah.
1925.
It did. Yeah. It's amazing.
Just
too.
a hoist or a cam and roller sort of, one that.
Sort of a scissor arrangement.
Oh,
that
okay, right.
goes, yeah.
Yeah. But I just can't get over the size of these tyres. Springs.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying that the wider the spring, the heavier load you could put on it.
Well, these are 5-inch wide springs, and so this was a 5-ton truck. And the 3-inch wide springs was a 3-ton truck. Was how they rated them.
Imagine a 12-ton truck.
Yeah.
They probably 12 inches this way, I guess,
Yeah.
to get them in there. And it's got a white. Did White make their own engines?
They did. Yeah.
Can we,
Yeah. You want to have a look?
it runs on petrol or kerosene?
Petrol. You see in there?
4-cylinder petrol. And that's the white logo on the side here. That's part of that
right.
engine.
Yeah.
And did you paint it white, or was it just come normal with black?
We
Nice.
painted that just to trim it up a little.
Yeah. What I also note, Doug, is that the trucks we've seen here with the accelerator, most of them have got a little boot rest
Oh, okay, yeah.
We're in New Zealand, you don't have a boot
We
rest.
didn't
That's-
have that, no.
Doug, in order to crank this to get it going, you've got to get your arm in. There's no other way, is there?
There's
have
no
you got a
other
special
way.
Oh,
No,
so it
that's
does
it.
have to go up
Yeah.
here, and you give it the old.
Yeah,
That's got to be. That's got to be a neck.
yeah,
Yeah, aren't I going to break my arm today?
yeah. I always wonder if it kicks back, this thing's gonna break your elbow, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
But
yeah.
so far, it starts good, so.
You don't have to decompression or anything. It's just,
No.
just the way it goes.
No.
Wow. Well, you've got to be proud of this. What was it like when you got it?
Oh, it wasn't too bad. Of course, like anything old, it needs a lot of work to them, but we didn't have to build a lot of stuff, but most of it was here, which is nice. Redid the cab and...
It's a steel cab.
Yeah, it is. That's
Yeah.
steel. Yeah,
That's the different.
yeah.
Most of our cabs, in fact, all of our cabs were wood or wood with a bit of metal over the top of them.
Oh, yeah.
Just explain this to us.
That's the hoist controls, the ones
Oh, okay.
that gauge your PTO, and the others for your hydraulic to go
Okay,
up and
so
down.
up and down.
Yeah.
And that's a bulletproof chassis under there.
Yeah, they were actually an I-beam chassis, which in that day was fairly novel. Most of them were C-channels, so
Sure. And a solid diff and those springs. Look at those springs. Look at those springs, folks. 5 inches wide. And how many's on there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So you can pack it on.
these are actually a reduction rear end on them, sort of like a planetary, but instead of 3 planet gears, they have just the 1. So they're really quite a heavy rear end. But when we took it all apart, we were missing a tooth off the pinion gear, and I thought, oh geez, this will be hard to get fixed. So asking around, and the club in the island had another rear end, so I got that off of them, and we took it apart. There's a tooth off the ring gear. So we mixed and matched the two, and we managed to get enough to work, so that was lucky.
Wow. So this must have been a hell of a truck in its time.
Oh yeah, it was a big truck. The pneumatic tires were actually an option. The standard was to have
The solid rubber.
a solid rubber, so you could get them either way. These are 40 by 8 tires, which change up to the newer style is 924.
Wow. I'm just saying it's sort of sticking out from the truck.
You weren't going fast enough
No.
to be flinging mud very far,
Okay,
so you weren't
yeah.
too worried about it.
But even as 1925, no welding. Just
No,
cut it out and stick-
rivet it.
rivet
Yep.
it. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go, folks. The old white.